Welcome to the channel. What follows is an interview Sitting Bull gave while in exile in Canada, conducted by Major LNF Crozier, of the Canadian Mounted Police. The interview is fascinating and has a few surprises. Firstly, Sitting Bull and Custer are pen pals? Lightning dismounting and even killing Custer's troops and horses? 709 Americans killed? I would put this one down to his warriors giving him an exaggerated figure here. It is not as though Sitting Bull would be going around counting dead bluecoats. The most surprising revelation though is Sitting Bull describing himself in the thick of the battle, leading the charge even. The conventional wisdom has always been that Sitting Bull was convening with the Great Spirit back in the village but was never involved in the battle. If Sitting Bull is speaking the truth here, feeling free to do so while safely in Canada but feeling it prudent to change the narrative when back in the USA, this interview turns that thinking on its head. Okay. Here is Sitting Bull's statement. Enjoy.
During the summer previous to the one in which Custer attacked us, he sent a letter to me, telling me that if I did not go to an agency he would fight me, and I sent word back to him by his messenger that I did not want to fight, but only to be left alone. I told him at the same time that if he wanted to fight, that he should go to fight those Indians who wanted to fight him. Custer then sent me word again, this was in the winter. You would not take my former offer, now I am going to fight you this winter. I sent word back and said just what I had said before, that I did not want to fight and only wanted to be left alone, and that my camp was the only one that had not fought against him. Custer again sent a message. I am fitting my wagons and soldiers, and am determined to fight against you in the spring. I thought that I would try him again, and sent them a message saying I did not want to fight, that I wanted, first of all, to go to British territory, and after I had been there and came back, if he still wanted to fight me, that I would fight then. Custer sent back word and said, I will fight you in 8 days. I then saw it was no use, that I would have to fight, so I sent him word back. All right, get all your men mounted, and I will get all my men mounted. We will have a fight, the Great Spirit will look on, and the side that is in the wrong will be defeated. I began to get ready, and sent 20 young men to watch for the soldiers. 5 soon came back with word that Custer was coming. The other 15 stopped to watch his movements. When Custer was quite close, 10 young men came in. When he had advanced still closer, 2 more of them came in, leaving 3 to watch the troops. We had got up a medicine dance for war in the camp, and just as it was coming to an end, 2 of the young men who had stopped out came in with word that Custer and the troops were very close and would be upon the camp in the morning. That night we all got ready for the battle. My young men all buckled on their ammunition belts, and we were busy putting strong sticks in our coup sticks. Early at sunrise, 2 young men who had been out a short way on the prairie came to me and told me that from the top of a high butte they had seen the troops advancing in 2 divisions. I then had all the horses driven into the camp and corralled between the lodges. About noon the troops came up and at once rushed upon the camp. They charged in 2 separate divisions, one at the upper end while the other division charged about the middle of the camp. The latter division struck the camp in the center of the 250 lodges of the Hunkpapa Sioux and close to the door of my own lodge. At the time the troops charged, I was making medicine for the Great Spirit to help us and fight upon our side, and as I heard the noise and knew what it was, I came out. When I had got to the outside of my lodge, I noticed that this division had stopped suddenly close to the outer side of the Hunkpapa camp. And then they sounded a bugle, and the troops fired into the camp. I at once set my wife upon my best horse, put my war bonnet to her head, and told her to run away with the rest of the women. She did so, but in her hurry forgot to take the baby. After she had gone a little way, she thought of the child and came back for it. I gave the child to her, and she went off again. I now put a flag upon a lodge pole, and lifting it as high as I could, I shorted out as loud as I was able to my own men. I am Sitting Bull, follow me. I then rushed at the head of them up to the place where I thought Custer was, and just as we got close up to the troops, they fired again. When I saw that the soldiers fired from their saddles and did but little damage to us, I ordered all my men to rush through their ranks and break them, which they did, but failed to break the ranks, although we suffered as little damage as before. I then shouted to them to try again, and putting myself at the head of my men, we went at them again. This time, although the soldiers were keeping up a rapid firing from their horses, we knocked away a whole corner and killed a great many, though I had only one man killed. After this, we charged the same way several times, and kept driving them back for about half a mile, killing them very fast. After forcing them back, there only remained 5 soldiers of their divisions and the interpreter alive, and I told my men to let them live. Then the interpreter, the man that the Indians called the White, shouted out in Sioux and said, "Custer is not in this division, he is in the other." I then ordered all my men to come on and attack the other division. They did so, and followed me. The soldiers of this division fired upon us as soon as we got within range, but did us little harm. When we had got quite close, and we were just going to charge them, a great storm broke right over us. The lightning was fearful, and struck a lot of the soldiers and horses, killing them instantly. I then called out to my men to charge the troops, and shorted out. "The Great Spirit is on our side. Look how he is striking the soldiers down." My men saw this, and they all rushed upon the troops, who were mixed up a good deal. About 40 of the soldiers had been dismounted by the lightning, killing and frightening their horses, and these men were soon trampled to death. It was just at this time that we charged them, and we easily knocked them off their horses, and then killed them with our coup sticks. In this way we killed all this division with the exception of a few who tried to get away, but were killed by the Sioux before they get very far. Although the battle, the soldiers fired very wild and only killed 25 Sioux. I did not recognize Jen and Custer in the fight, but only thought I did, but I would not be certain about it. I believe Custer was killed in the first attack, as we found his body, or what all the Indians thought was Custer's body, about the place that it was made. I do not think there is any truth in the report that he shot himself. I saw 2 soldiers shoot themselves. The Sioux were following them, and in a few moments would have caught them, but they shot themselves with their pistols in the head. The body which all the Indians said was Custer's had its hair cut short. There were 709 Americans killed. We counted 707 carbines. 2 might have fallen in the creek.